pure. What a lonesome feeling to be waiting round like some washed up actress in a tinsel town. Before the record I'd come pick you up, we'll head for the ocean. Just say when you had enough. All the light and sound, this little world's too fragile now, and there's only one way out. But if you let me slide, I'll do my best to make things right. And I'm nowhere bound, just going up and down, up and down. Milk thistle, let me down slow. Just help me go slow. I've been hurrying on. I was poised for greatness. I was down and out. I keep death at my heels like a basset hound. If I go to heaven, I'll be bored as hell, like a crying baby at the bottom of a well.
I'll tell the world, I'll sing the song. It's a better place since you came along. Since you came along. Your touch is sunlight through the trees. Your kisses are the ocean breeze. Everything's alright when you're with me. And you're my favorite thing. Oh, the love that you bring. Well, it feels like I've opened my eyes again, and the colors are golden and bright again. There's a song in my heart, I feel like I belong. It's a better place since you came along. It's a better place since you came along. I see the whole world in your eyes. It's like I've known you all my life. We just feel so right. So I pour my heart into your hands. It's like you really understand. You love the way I am. And you're my favorite thing. Oh, the happiness you bring. Well, it feels like I've opened my eyes again, and the colors are golden and bright again, and the sun paints the skies and the wind sings her song. It's a better place since you came along. It's a better place since you came along. Now I'm alright. Now I'm alright. Everything's alright. 'Cause it feels like I've opened my eyes again, and the colors are golden and bright again. There's a song in my heart, I feel like I belong. It's a better place since you came along. It's a better place since you came along.
Justin was born on August 17th, 1990. Sorry, we'll wait for the family.
I'm sitting in the back room. I pan to see if I can find you. I want a story that looks nothing like me. And I want a heartbeat that only belongs to me. I'm giving everything I got, one step closer.
Justin was born on August 17th, 1990, in Gunnison, Colorado, where he was raised by Steve and Lisa Fuller. 7 years later, he became a big brother to Sarah, and the two of them shared a close bond that remained through their years together. In the fall of 2018, Justin met his soulmate, Alyssa Buron, and shortly after, they went on their first date. Justin and Alyssa shared their love for life and skydiving at the Skydive Tennessee Drop Zone. Justin's zest for life was contagious, and it overflowed to everyone he met. On October 4th, 2025, Justin took his last skydive jump. He was passionate about his career and was always eager to share his experience with others. Welcome. On behalf of the family, I would like to thank you for being present today as we've gathered to honor the life of Justin Fuller. As we mourn the inevitable loss that comes in this life, it is a time like this we are most encouraged to look to God for help. 2 Corinthians 1, 3-4 says, "Blessed be the God and Father of our Lord Jesus Christ, the Father of mercies and God of all comfort, who comforts us in all our tribulation, that we may be able to comfort those who are in any trouble with the comfort with which we ourselves are comforted by God." This is what I pray for you, whoever you are and wherever life has you just now, that God and the hope and peace so many of us have found in him would be a very real comfort to you. I pray that your life is surrounded by others who, having been comforted by God in their own times of grieving and loss, might walk beside you in your own times of need. The only way to find God's help in times like these begins with knowing God loves you. You matter a great deal to him. You were made in his image, and that means you were meant for a relationship with him. Perhaps the most famous verse in all of the Bible is John 3:16, which says, "For God so loved the world that he gave his only begotten Son, that whoever believes in him should not perish, but have everlasting life." Jesus offers us hope for hard times like these, hope for the troubles that touch each of our lives, a hope of lasting forgiveness, and hope of heaven, where we will one day be reunited with the family and friends who in faith have gone before us. However you knew Justin, I am confident that this is what he would most want to share with us if he were here to speak to us today. Having stepped from this life into the next, he would wish for you Jesus, who is the hope of the world. Heavenly Father, I pray for all these people here today that knew Justin. I pray for that they can find comfort in today, and they find comfort in God's love for us and Jesus to be known and believed, and for the capacity today to grieve the loss of Justin as we celebrate his life. In your holy name, amen. Now I'd like Valerie Ramos to come up and speak in memory of Justin.
Hello. My name is Valerie Ramos, and I first came to know the Fullers through a ministry opportunity here at Community Church. 12 or so years ago, when Sarah was in the first batch of students that the Lord would use to change and shape my life. Sarah was one of the few in our group, but incredibly faithful. Sarah was one, it was through her that I came to know one of my best friends, Lisa, and there, our beloved Justin. I had the privilege of getting to know Justin through them, and luckily for myself as well. Justin and the life that he lived cannot be adequately expressed through a simple quote. It can't be expressed through a column in a paper, and not even by the most gifted of speakers. Because Justin lived a life quite literally above the clouds. So today, we have invited several people who knew Justin well, and they will share some of the things that made him, him, and how he made an impact on everyone that he knew. Perhaps you are here today because you lived closely with Justin. Or maybe you're here because you care for someone who has lost someone that they love. Regardless of where you sit on that spectrum, we're thankful that you're here and appreciate your homage to those whom he called family or friend. Today, I'm here to share what I know about Justin, and I'm honored for the opportunity to do so. Justin was a man of courage, generosity, fantastic humor, which he got from his mama, and a tremendous heart. Some of you knew Justin as son, brother, or bubby, cousin, nephew, friend, partner in crime, and love. Many of you knew him as Spidey, a nickname which he embraced in his skydiving community, which may hold another meaning that I'm unaware of, but seemingly after Spider-Man, who, in my opinion, is one of the greatest superheroes. A well-earned nickname, as he had, I hear, well over 5,000 jumps under his belt, sharing a craft that he loved with humility and enthusiasm. 2 Christmases ago, Lisa invited me over for dinner with Justin and Alyssa, when I got to hear more about his love for people, places, and parachutes. Lisa always talks about her son being funny, with a sparkle in her eye. And on that evening, I got to witness it in fuller force. What a treasure it was to see the apple and the tree. It was especially wonderful to sit down with them and talk as though we had been up to speed in each other's lives, like no time had passed and no space had existed between us. In the past couple of weeks, I've learned that this wasn't unique. It was just who Justin was, the type of person to never meet a stranger. As his family and friends reminisce over his ability to bring people together in any setting, I even read about how patient and caring he was, especially in his teaching. And forgive me for quoting an article, but one former student who he had with hearing impairment recalled how Justin had made an extra effort to signal, tap, communicate, making sure she felt safe and confident in their venture. Others have told of how he'd show up in their lives just to make things lighter, to bring a smile or cheer. In other words, and these words are my own, Justin was whatever anyone needed in any given moment. Justin served others exceptionally well. On October 4th, 2025, Justin made one last act of service. Some sources suggest that this was a chaotic accident, while others search for conspiracy. Meanwhile, we remember that no matter the circumstances, Justin would have always chosen the well-being of another above himself, because Justin cared so well for other people. This is just one of the things that made him remarkable. And it provides a call to action for each of us, living to love others even when tempted to live only for ourselves, a Christ-likeness that we can all aspire to. Undoubtedly, the loss is heavy. At times, it will feel unbearable, but while grief walks with us right now, so does joy in the memories of our time with him. I'm encouraged to see everyone here this afternoon. Out of love and support of this wonderful family, as we cry together and laugh together and maybe cry again, then reflect on all the ways and moments that we have been touched by Justin's character, generosity, hilariousness, it is a word, kindness, servitude, warmth, and love. Today, We remember Justin for every good thing that he imparted, for which my words only fall short. May his memory inspire us to live lives worth mentioning in such a way that our stories of bravery, joy, and kindness are also told from coast to coast, just as his are being shared right now. It's my honor to share on behalf of Justin's mom, Lisa Fuller, some words that she wanted to have read today. How do I even begin to tell you how much I love you? A mother's love is quite special since we carry our child in our innermost womb and labor to bring them into this world. You, Justin, were our biggest surprise since we were certain that you were a girl. From the moment that you burst into our world, you were full of smiles, took the longest naps, and everything about life just seemed to agree with you. That little boy never lost his love for his family, friends, new adventures, and making everyone he met feel that they were special. These qualities took you into adulthood, where you tackled each life experience with a strength and fortitude. That blew me away. You are an overcomer and turned around to guide others through their heartaches and joys. This mama is thankful and blessed you found who Justin Fuller was meant to be. It's everyone's dream to do what they're passionate about, and you attained that dream. Skydiving opened a door to satisfying your love for adventure and sharing that contagious enthusiasm by becoming a skydiving instructor. You always found the most wonderful love. You also found the most wonderful love in Alyssa. And we will hold her up in our family's love and keep your memory alive, Justin. You have touched the hearts of so many people that can say, Justin was my friend. I love you to the mountains and back. Forever grateful for the gift that you are. I'm going to invite Sarah Fuller up now to introduce a special video that we want to share with y'all.
Hello, I can't look at anyone. But yesterday, my mom and I remembered that probably 4 years ago, Bubby was asked to help, I think it's a Christian music artist with a music video, and he videoed a skydive for the music artist. And so we're gonna play the lyrical of that and then the little skydive at the end.
I've heard them say before to live just like you're dying, yeah. Wish I could say that's how I am, but I've been lying, yeah. Lying in my bed at night one too many times I'm thinking, what if? My biggest fear is waking up to find what matters is miles away from what I spent my life chasing after. Is my story gonna have the same two words in every chapter? What if? But last I checked, this heart inside my chest is still beating. Well, I guess it's not too late. What if today's the only day I got? I don't wanna waste it if it's my last shot. Oh, no regrets. In the end, I wanna know I got no what ifs. I'm running till the road runs out. I'm lighting it up right words again. What if? Well, last I checked, this heart inside my chest is still beating. Well, I guess it's not too late. No. What if today's the only day I got? I don't wanna waste it if it's my last shot. Oh, no regrets in the end. I wanna know I got no what ifs. I'm running till the road runs out. I'm lighting it up right here, right now. Oh, no regrets in the end. I wanna know I got no what ifs. I'm gonna dream a little bigger, burn a little brighter, stand a little taller, closer to your fire, dig a little deeper, reach a little further, love a little harder. I'm gonna dream a little bigger, burn a little brighter, stand a little taller, closer to your fire, dig a little deeper, reach a little further, love a little harder. 'Cause what if today's the only day I got? I don't wanna waste it if it's my last shot. Whoa, no regrets in the end. I wanna know I got no what ifs. I'm running till the road runs out. I'm lighting it up right here, right now. Oh, no regrets, no. In the end, I wanna know I got no what ifs. Yeah. Oh, whoa. I wanna know I got no what ifs. Nah, 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 nah. Nah, 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 nah. Nah, 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 nah. I wanna know I got no what ifs.
We're going to call up a couple speakers in tribute to Justin. The first speaker I'd like to call up is Kelsey Odom.
Hi, I would like to take a minute to honor Justin's mom, Lisa, his sister, Sarah, and his girlfriend and life partner, Alyssa. I would also like to honor Justin's extended family, both the Gallisons and the Fullers. For those of you who don't know me, I'm Kelsey Odom. I'm a friend of Justin's. We grew up together. I've known Justin my whole life, literally my entire life. One of my earliest memories is of our moms talking at the kitchen table at our family friend, Miss Rita's house. I remember lying on the colorful rug, looking out the sliding glass window, and looking back at Justin. I'm not sure how we communicated without talking, but we did. I knew even at that young of an age, he was my friend. He may or may not have been drooling. I will leave that for you to decide. When we were toddlers, Justin invented the grandma and grandpa walk. While wearing our slightly oversized sunglasses, we would hunch over and walk, pretending we were using invisible canes. You can imagine the laughs. Justin's sense of humor was always on point. Justin patiently taught me the ins and outs of fantasy football when it was a part of our class in 5th grade. Justin was a good athlete. He knew football, but more than that, he could run statistics in his head like no one's business. At our first middle school dance, Justin was one of the first guys on the dance floor, coaxing others to follow. He was a leader who would not miss out on the fun. He created the fun. In high school, Justin was the first person I knew who could drive. Many of you remember the red Pontiac. Justin and I both ended up going to the University of Northern Colorado for college. He immediately made a close circle of guy friends. He also made a point to meet all of my roommates. One of my roommates had an 8 a.m. class 3 days a week, and she hated it. Out of all 4 of us girls, the transition to college was the hardest for her. I will never forget the day that I passed her as I was headed to my own classes. She was smiling so big. I asked her if that early class was better, and she shook her head. No, she said, I'm happy because I didn't have to sit by myself at breakfast today. Justin, that friend of yours from Gunnison, recognized me and asked if he could sit with me. We are going to meet for breakfast every day we have the 8 a.m. class. When I thanked Justin later in the day for his unbelievable thoughtfulness, he just shrugged and said, of course. For Justin, there was no other way to be. I was with Justin the night his father passed away. Justin loved deeply. His grief was raw and like nothing I had ever seen before or since. What I realized recently was that Justin showed us, by example, how to keep going after losing someone too soon. Justin made conscious choices. He connected with his mom and sister. He chose to live joyfully and take a bite out of life. That led him to skydiving, where he truly found a passion that he turned into his career. His nickname, Spidey, was an embodiment of who he was: trustworthy, capable, fun-loving, and most of all, memorable. He chose to love. He found his perfect life partner in Alyssa. The last time I saw Justin was when he came to Gunnison for a Christmas visit 2 years ago. He overheard me talking to one of our other lifelong friends, Dustin McGinnis. Dustin and I walk every Monday, and Christmas happened to fall on a Monday. Justin said, "Heck yes, I think we should all go for a walk." As Justin, Sarah, Alyssa, Shane, Bryce, Dustin, and I walked along the path from Charmar Park leading toward the river, I remembered adventuring along that same path for the first time with Justin when we were little. None of us knew it, but that day was the perfect Christmas gift. As we miss Justin and remember his life, let us go forward following his example to find joy and to love deeply, just like Justin.
Thank you, Kelsey. Our next tribute speaker will be Blake Collins.
Sarah's right. It is harder when you look out at the crowd. Justin Robert Fulltown Fulls Spidey Fuller. To know him regionally was to know him by a different name, wherever he was. In the Pacific Northwest is where I met him. I met him when I was 19, freshman year of college. He located up to Seattle and left a lifelong impact on the guys and girls that he interacted with. He was Fuller. He was one of the baseball guys. He lived with Finney. immediately one of us, best heckler of all time, career reputation for his ability to heckle the other team. Undisputed. I have had ex-players come up to me years later reciting specific jokes that he would say to people that have resonated with them years after. A coach got ejected for arguing a bad call, and Fuller from the top of the stands yells, "Get that man a Snickers." Coach cracks up laughing. In the Southeast, they knew him as Spidey, because what else do you call yourself when you walk into a drop zone trying to make a reputation? The only person that's self-proclaimed a nickname stuck for this long. And if you've got a handlebar and a mullet, what else do you call yourself? In Gunnison, all I've heard is Justin. I've heard Fuller. I was told Cherry Top because of his exasperated complexion when he played basketball, but that's 0 for 4 in validating with his friends, so I don't know who told me that, but his impact to all of us wasn't just literal, it was emotional and genuine and electric. It wasn't just regional, but national, and his intentional interaction with everybody that he encountered was contagious. He was a conduit to everybody that he met in his life to bring out the best energy that they had inside them, often that they didn't know they had inside them. His skydiving reputation is not known in Gunnison. His resume was impressive, and I wanted to come to Gunnison and know that he became an international name and was proud of where he came from. His international name got to the point where he was contracted to fly a rich person around the pyramids, which is pretty incredible. But do you expect anything less out of Fuller? Just finding new ways to do the unbelievable? He was the best man at my wedding, my partner in adventure, and my brother in trauma. I told myself I was gonna wing this speech, just like he did at my wedding. But I wrote mine crying in the middle of seat 20B in a turquoise Grateful Dead tee, because I'm not Fuller. He was my blood brother. I went in at 50 miles an hour and had a skydiving accident. Fuller was the first one at my side, covered in my blood, trying to make sure I was gonna be okay. I snapped pelvis, femur, brain injury, coma, wheelchair. I was down and out. I was in the ICU for 6 weeks, and Fuller was by my side every moment that he could, being Fuller and carrying my family through that trauma, being his conduit to optimism and just uplifting and finding a way to impact all of us into getting past this moment, to the point where he broke me out in my wheelchair and got me outside just for fresh air, just so he could go for a little roll. We cried over losing our fathers when I was 19. That was where we really got together, as we realized that he was the first person that I'd come into contact that had experienced the same thing. We were crying in his bed, talking about it. He gives me a hug and says, "Welcome to the Dead Dad Club. We meet on Wednesdays." It was such a good line that I've shamelessly stole it. But it's remarkable. I've used this to people in this room to have gotten through such a terrible time. And it's remarkable that everybody I've welcomed into the club has had the same simple sense of relief, finding that there's community in trauma, and defining it as the club made it palpable, and that there was others. And he was able to give me, and I've been able to pass on to many people, just a moment of peace when we're treading in dark water. A little dash of Fuller, just in time. Lisa, you're incredible. And he was a real mama's boy. And you deserve all the flowers that you've been given and all of the love that you've been bestowed upon you, because it's because of you that he was funny. His love that spread from you has spread from the Pacific Northwest all the way to Florida. From Sarah and Gunnison, we felt you in where his roots were. His confidence came from the foundation that you guys gave him. His ability to be himself and welcomed himself and let it come through. Sarah, your bub saw the world. He laughed in different languages from the best vantage point. He lived his life to the absolute fullest. I know you lost your brother, but know that I'm here, just in case. Alyssa, you fell for a good one. I can only imagine the palpable absence of a man of such presence and audible volume. You complemented each other so well, a purest form of love and companionship that all I can hope is that he just inspires you to lean into the unknown, because you never know what bliss may be around the corner. Don't let an old hurt keep you from a new beginning. I want to thank you all for being here and giving me a platform to talk about a brother of mine that carried me through some of the darkest times in my life and was a part of some of the best celebrations that I had and the first person that I called when I wanted to celebrate. Cheers to Justin.
Thank you, Blake. Next speaker is David Gunnison.
I want to honor those that spoke before me, Val, Blake, Kelsey. Blake is a lot harder to go to bat cleanup than Nashville. Justin was my nephew. And as vexing as he could be at times, I always had a bedrock of love for him. We had the same middle name, Robert. In the week that he passed, thank you. I woke up every morning and jotted down thoughts and reverie about Justin, and these are some of those thoughts. I hope they find some resonance for you. As you've seen already, in all respects, it's not hard to celebrate Justin's life. He was truly one of those people who left his mark on all who knew him. He lived life large. As a measure of the connections you all shared with him, I'm just curious, how many fellow skydivers are here? Cool. Not me. Whoever played disc golf with him? Okay, cool. Skied with him? Cool. Basketball? All right. Baseball? Cool. Whoever engaged in hijinks with him or were pranked or spooked by Justin. There's Sarah, yeah. And apropos what Blake was saying, who was with him when he shed tears? With tears, there's a sober side to this memorial as well. Besides my father and mother, Justin was the closest and most painful loss in my life. I didn't expect that. We mourn not only the person we knew, but also the future he will never have. The milestones, contributions, and experiences that were anticipated that are now lost to Justin and to us. In his few years, Justin experienced a lifetime of remarkable breadth and depth, as you've heard. As a young boy whose blonde hair clearly wanted to grow in a different direction, a prominent cowlick in front, he seemed destined to live his life in a different direction. Justin was always physically engaged from childhood. I always appreciated that about him. Meaning for Justin was realized through activity, mastering his body over and over, whether it was BMX, bicycle, or baseball, basketball, disc golf, his new one-wheel transporter that he ride on, and finally skydiving, where he felt most alive. In middle school, an arrangement arose for Justin to have a mentor, a role that Jeff played so sensitively and steadfastly. I just want to do a shout out to Jeff and all that meant to Justin and his family. Later in high school, in an early prelude of what I would call Justin's knack for winging it, he was on a ski trip to Crested Butte. The bus slid off the road and overturned, and Justin had the presence of mind to put his ski helmet on. Somewhat reducing the injuries, I'm sure. The major turning point in his life really occurred, as Kelsey was saying, when barely into his freshman year at University of Northern Colorado, his father took his own life. And you can only imagine at that stage where you're so full of life options and having a taste of independence and trying things out, that this would happen. And I think that really shattered Justin. And those who know him are aware of that. And he dropped out of school. How does one ever come to terms with that in your life? And I think he struggled with it really the whole second half of his life. After his father's death, his adolescence seemed severely disrupted. And Justin came back to Gunnison. He lived with his friend, Shane, I believe, and, took some classes and coached. He later visited a friend near Seattle and decided to get a fresh start and move there. And that's where he met Blake, his dear friend. He took classes at Green River Community College. During that time, he was much closer to our orbit in Portland as well, the four of us, so we enjoyed seeing him much more. Baseball buddies he lived with included Jake and others, Blake and others. It's funny, during that time, and I think almost his whole life, what was his preferred way of dressing? He always wore basketball shorts. I considered wearing those today in honor of Justin, but didn't. I have some. So he attended classes. He drove a German sports sedan that he painted all flat black, even the wheels and the logo. At one point, he indulged in his wilder side, and he bought a low-slung crotch rocket, those motorcycles. And I think he quickly realized that speed was too enticing, and in a more responsible decision, he decided to get rid of it. He took the whole winter and spring off, I think, to ski. From Seattle, he'd drive down to Portland to attend Nugget and Blazer basketball games. And just like Blake was saying, he would dress in the most outrageous Nuggets gear, the blue and the yellow and the white, but a whole combination of it, not just like a jersey. And he would always stand out in the crowd for heckling, and more the better for Justin. He loved the energy of the crowd reacting to him. It was fun to see. There was also nothing that he wouldn't do to entertain, as Blake would attest, and engage with others, really. One of my favorite photos was when Justin came down to our small coastal community in Oregon, Cape Mears, and there was a 4th of July parade. So a bunch of us got our heads together the night before and came up with a makeshift float in the parade. And the girls got the cool part. They were in this canoe on top of my friend's truck, waving, the parade wave. Justin somehow came up with the role of wearing a red toga robe, which is our red tablecloth, and standing on the hood of the pickup with a staff, I think it was a broom, as the bowsprit, proudly going down the street. So, as I said, there was nothing he wouldn't do. After his stint in the Northwest, Justin moved to Denver, where he worked as an insulation installer. And he met his dear friend, Bo, and went through a phase of summoning various 14ers. I don't know, he probably did 12, or more, quite a few. It was here, too, that he also experienced the rarefied air of skydiving at the Longmont Skydive Center. This also led to then he and Bo transferred to Tennessee. That was his big shift from where we all knew him, and resumed the insulation business there. But also led to an explosion in his jump numbers. So he really got into it. By 500, he qualified to be a tandem instructor. And in that role, he impacted many lives and acquaintances, especially his beloved Alyssa. He was really blessed to have found such a loving, playful, and committed soulmate in Alyssa, and I'll be forever grateful for that. He's also stoked for wing suiting, and he, as they said, as Blake put it, he self-proclaimed the persona of Spidey. And he actually had a staggering total of 5,802 jumps. Whew. The thing about intense sports like basketball, skiing, and definitely skydiving that probably fits so well for Justin is there's really, when you're doing it, there's no space for a chattering mind, or any self-defeating thoughts. You have to be so in the moment, really, and really that's much louder than your thoughts. I think as an observer, it looks way different than it feels from what I hear. And I have little doubt that the exhilaration, the freedom of skydiving was for Justin a spiritual experience. In his discovery and progression in skydiving, he truly found his niche where all of who he was could excel. He expressed, be appreciated, and in so doing, he found his tribe, really, of fellow enthusiasts. And it was so cool to see that. As many of you know, there was a memorial last Saturday in Nashville area, and it was in a packed living room with 40 or 50 of his friends. And I know Lisa and Sarah and our whole family were just blown away by how people were impacted by him. I had no idea. Person after person. He had intervened and helped them meet their fiance, or been a support to somebody whose friend committed suicide. All these moments were just rolled into one. It was very, very moving. And I just didn't know that about the last 5 or 6 years of his life and the culmination that it really reached. No one wants to hear that our time is limited and that we all pass away. Even though Justin seemed to live a devil-may-care attitude, he also knew he wouldn't be here forever. He had wrestled with death as an adolescent. And when his father died, and in that raw and painful reckoning, he faced his own mortality and desire to go on living. When I last saw Justin 2 months ago in Atlanta, we discussed his career aspirations, which was to become a pilot, and a little of his vision of what he wanted in his life going forward. But his life was cut short, and like you, I'm now left to feel the pain of the loss and the trauma that he is gone. Like many of you, these last 2 weeks, I cycle through sadness, and my mind replays over and over what could have been, even what I could have done differently in our relationship. Sharing reflections like this, memories and stories about Justin, is really a vital part of the grieving process. It keeps his memory alive and can provide comfort to everyone affected. So we are left with happy memories amidst our sadness and grief, and to wonder what could have been. For family and friends, it means letting go of a shared future that simply vanished. Justin's passing, however, is also a message to us, the living. And I can imagine him cajoling us in his adopted Southern dialect. Come on, y'all, get over it. Every one of us is connected to and feels admiration and love for Justin, and can appreciate the moment, this moment, how we are connected to each other. A memorial like this is really a rare coming together. this gathering of people will never come together again quite this way. And celebrating a life is special. So please soak it in, right? And share hugs with one another. Grief does not end with this gathering, however, and as the apt metaphor describes, comes in waves of varying size over time. When I was reviewing and uploading a lifetime of photos, I'm probably one of his top photographers in his life. Out of the blue, I could be struck by a reminiscence and an overwhelming sense of loss and tears. Really, it's a lifelong process of learning to live with loss. So let us not forget to stay in touch, and especially with Alyssa, Sarah, and Lisa. And they in turn should feel free to lean on us. As we look around, these people who surround us are many of the ones closest to us in this life. Perhaps with wounded hearts and unrealized dreams like Justin. In the days to come, ask each other, what do you really want in this precious life? For Justin, I would suggest it was to be seen, admired, to feel vividly alive, and most importantly, to feel loved. That Justin had found his tribe was clear from that celebrated photo of his playful and even mischievous wide-mouthed grin sticking out his tongue. It really shows he had broken through to his joy in life. His legacy may be that infectious and childlike joy he brought to others, the goofiness to not take ourselves too seriously. And he was really the Pied Piper of skydiving in Middle Tennessee that led many into the joy of experiencing jumping. My favorite words of Helen Keller: what we have once enjoyed, we can never lose. All that we love deeply becomes a part of us. All that we love deeply becomes a part of us. We need to relish and revel in these stories and the relentlessly upbeat attitude and resilience over 35 years that was Justin. Justin lived life fully, or as his family was always quick to interject their last name.
Thank you, David. And for our final speaking, I'd like to invite up the Fuller family to talk a little bit.
Hello.
Hi.
We're Aunt Jeannie and Aunt Di from, Steve was our brother.
Yeah.
And Justin's dad. And I just want to say I remember some great fun times in Justin and Sarah's childhood when our families would get together. Two that particularly stand out are, we had a hot tub at our house, and Justin and Sarah loved to use their snorkels and masks and fins in the hot tub. I have many pictures of that. And also, we had a cabin that belonged to the family up at Kenosha Pass that the kids spent a lot of time with, together with all their cousins. And I do remember a fish hook in the back of Justin's leg at one time we had to dig out. But
Goofy.
yeah,
He was always goofy.
he was goofy.
We loved him dearly. The last time I talked to Justin was, I think it was June, when he had the plane crash. And I said, what in the heck is going on? You were in a plane crash? And he goes, I don't even think it's my first one. And I said, did you hurt yourself? And he explained to me how they went up and they were all in their seat belts because they hadn't reached 1,500 feet. And he said, one of the guys knew that the pilot was having troubles and he raced up to see if he could help. And then he ran back, and I put my arms around him as we were crashing. And he said, and he stepped on my toe. And he said, it hurt. He said. But he said, that's the only thing that happened. He said, I survived a plane crash. He said, next time I see you, Aunt Jeannie, we're going skydiving. And I said, nope, we're not. And he said, no, really, we're going. And I said, no, this is not on my lifetime. And he said, we're going. I said, you can take my husband, but no. And just,
I'm afraid of mountain passes,
Yeah,
let alone
so-
jumping out of an airplane.
the other thing, I had just the weirdest experience yesterday. We were chit-chatting in the recovery room at the hospital, and I said something about, well, we were going to Gunnison tomorrow to pay honor to my nephew. I said to the nurse lady, I said, he was the flight instructor, or the instructor who fell to his death in the skydiving incident. And this other lady comes running in to where we were sitting, and she said, he was a tandem skydiver? And I said, yes. And she said, I just tried that. And I'm in shock. She said, there's such a community with skydivers. And as I hugged her, she was just solid goosebumps. And I told her to go to Justin's Facebook page because I had never seen so many accolades for an individual on this planet than I had for Justin.
Yeah.
He was loved by everybody.
And I would like to say that Justin went through a very difficult time after our brother died, and he lost his father, and he kind of floated around and in and out of things, and like Dave said, he went to Tennessee for the job in installation, and right there, his whole life changed. He met the love of his life, Alyssa, who really counteracted him very well, because Justin was always the wild and crazy guy, and Alyssa was the quiet, stable person. And
Yeah, that works.
yeah, and then he, got into skydiving, made so many friends, and we didn't hear from him much. I will say his communication skills weren't great. Yeah, you could text, you could call, and you might hear back in 6 months if you're lucky. But when we did see him, it was just wonderful, and he just turned out to be the most inspiring. He had the biggest heart. I just am so proud of what he made out of his life, and I just hate that it's cut so short. It's hard to wrap your mind around waking up and then not having him in our world. That's hard.
And my husband got to know Justin real well, too, and they'd spend lots of time, painting the fence up at the cabin. And Russ said to me the other day, he said, Justin, to me, wins the award for the most improved human being on the planet.
Oh, he does.
Because he went from such a low point after his dad died
Yeah, he did.
to just the happiest, most loving individual that anybody could ask for. I mean, I'm so grateful to have been his aunt.
Oh, me too. He was special, and Sarah too. Love you
Yes,
guys.
I love you guys.
Okay, I'm gonna do my best. I don't know how to write a eulogy, so I wrote a letter. To I can't see. To my puppy. What am I supposed to do now? It was supposed to be us. Brother and sister against the world. Now what? How do I be a little sister without a big brother? I guess Blake's my big brother now. And I have a forever sister in Alyssa. I always wanted a sister, they're nicer. Why did you have to choose this as your life's passion? You couldn't have just been happy putting insulation in people's attics for the rest of your life. No, you would not have been, because that's not the kind of person you are. You need to get the most out of life, and I think that you did. If you hadn't found that path, you would have never met the love of your life and given thousands of people the gift of a skydive or become a celebrity, which I know you loved. I have so many memories of us. It was often us together doing things growing up. You were mean to me, as any older brother should be, I guess, but mean nonetheless. I remember you would throw me over your shoulder, spin me around in circles, toss me on the bed, and then sprint out and shut the door. When we would go to Denver to see Dad, it was your personal mission in your red Pontiac to make me throw up. You succeeded only once, and I left my socks on the side of the road because I threw up on them, and was traumatized by having to wipe my mouth with only a Funyuns wrapper that was in your back seat. We had the best car trips, and along with that came the best road trip tunes. I remember you would let me sing the cuss words in the songs, which made me feel really cool. And we would make up little dance moves to go along. Now my world is full of memories like this, and I just have to imagine you laughing. His chuckle. He always had to do his shoulders. As mean as you were to me, you were also a great big brother. You were always looking out for me, protective of me, especially after Dad died. As I got older, our relationship got stronger, and I'm so sad that we do not get to continue that bond. It's unfair, and I think that it's fair that I'm pissed at you for leaving me. When you found skydiving, I remember you were just so stoked and could not shut up about it. You got me to go with you for the first time, and I had no desire to ever do it myself, but I understood why you needed to. It became your passion, and it was always so fun to hear about your adventures. Your last 7 years in Tennessee, you truly brought thousands of people together through skydiving, but people stuck around for who you were as a person, who you are as a person. You are so good, so kind, and are such a conduit for human connection. I stole that word from Blake. And for friendship. The world is a better place because you were in it, and I'm broken that you are gone. I think we can all take a page from your book and live life fuller. I plan to live this motto out as a way to keep your energy and legacy alive. I don't know how I will ever be able to be as cool as you are, and I'm kind of annoyed at that. Don't worry, I will keep the Fuller joke alive. Even if I do get married, I'm keeping the name. Love, your sibling.
Thank you to everyone who shared. For none of you, it was easy. Sarah, I'm especially proud of you. Thank you for sharing that with us. There are a couple songs that the family wanted to share in a moment of reflection, and I have the privilege of leading the first. And if that goes very badly, don't worry, we'll close with something on YouTube. When I find myself in times of trouble, Mother Mary, which reminds me, I was told to share something before singing this song, and that's that this was written by a John McCartney, and he's talking about his mom, which was, I thought, seemingly appropriate, as I got to also share words on behalf of Justin's mom, so. When I find myself in times of trouble, Mother Mary comes to me, speaking words of wisdom, let it be. And in my hour of darkness, she is standing right in front of me, speaking words of wisdom, let it be. Let it be, let it be, let it be, let it be. Whisper words of wisdom, let it be. And when the broken-hearted people living in the world agree, there will be an answer, let it be. For though they may be parted, there is still a chance that they will see. There will be an answer, let it be. Let it be, let it be, let it be, let it be. There will be an answer, let it be. Let it be, let it be, let it be, let it be. Whisper words of wisdom, let it be. And when the night is cloudy, there is still a light that shines on me. Shine until tomorrow, let it be. I wake up to the sound of music. Mother Mary comes to me, speaking words of wisdom, let it be. I wake up to the sound of music. Mama, come to me, speak words of wisdom, let it be. It is well with my soul. It is well with my soul. It is well with my soul. It is well, it is well with my soul. there will be an answer. Let it be. 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 Whisper words of wisdom. Let it be.
I'll tell the world, I'll sing the song. It's a better place since you came along. Since you came along. Your touch is sunlight through the trees. Your kisses are the ocean breeze. Everything's alright when you're with me. And you're my favorite thing. Oh, the love that you bring. Well, it feels like I've opened my eyes again, and the colors are golden and bright again. There's a song in my heart, I feel like I belong. It's a better place since you came along. It's a better place since you came along. I see the whole world in your eyes. It's like I've known you all my life. We just feel so right. So I pour my heart into your hands. It's like you really understand. You love the way I am. And you're my favorite thing. Oh, the happiness you bring. Well, it feels like I've opened my eyes again, and the colors are golden and bright again, and the sun paints the skies and the wind sings our song. It's a better place since you came along. It's a better place since you came along. Now I'm alright. Now I'm alright. Everything's alright. 'Cause it feels like I've opened my eyes again, and the colors are golden and bright again. There's a song in my heart, I feel like I belong. It's a better place since you came along. It's a better place since you came along.
Before we close out, I want to thank everyone for coming. I know it means the world to all the friends and family to see how much of an impact Justin made on everyone. I also want to leave you some words from the book of John 14, 1 through 3 and 27. Let not your heart be troubled. You believe in God. Believe also in me. In my Father's house are many mansions. If it were not so, I would have told you. I go to prepare a place for you. And if I go and prepare a place for you, I will come again and receive you to myself, that where I am, there you may also be. Peace I leave with you. My peace I give to you. Not as the world gives, do I give to you. Let not your heart be troubled, neither let it be afraid. So again, thank you everyone for coming, and please join everyone next door. There's a ton of food. There's a memory jar. Jot down a memory you have. Leave it for the family to look at later. And thank you for coming.
Hear you when you speak. Let your guard down. Leave your hometown. see you sad. If they could, then